"Stop pretending you care about this family," my mother-in-law said across the dinner table. My father-in-law added, "We know you're here for our money." I quietly said, "Then maybe we should check the bank records." My name is Lauren Bishop, and I'm 36 years old. I work as a nurse at a local hospital, mostly night shifts that leave me exhausted but fulfilled. The job is demanding, but helping people has always mattered to me more than making impressive money. I grew up in a modest household where every dollar had a clear purpose, and my parents taught me financial responsibility early in life. When I married my husband, Aaron, I knew his parents came from money. They owned several rental properties and talked about investments constantly at every family dinner, making sure everyone knew about their wealth. At first, I tried really hard to fit in with his family. I helped cook during holidays, remembered everyone's birthdays, and visited them regularly, even when my work schedule made it difficult. But in their eyes, I was never impressive enough or sophisticated enough for their son. They liked to remind everyone that Aaron had dated women with corporate careers and prestigious degrees before meeting me. I wasn't rich or glamorous at all. I worked long hospital shifts and drove an old sedan that rattled loudly when I started the engine. But I had something they didn't expect from someone they'd dismissed so completely. I had quiet discipline, careful financial planning, and detailed records of every financial decision Aaron and I had ever made together. If you've ever been judged because of your job or your background, you probably understand exactly how that feels. Hit subscribe if someone has ever underestimated you based on appearances alone. Tell me in the comments if you've dealt with in-laws like this. Click hype and let's get into what happened next. The conflict began during a large Sunday family dinner at my in-laws' expensive house, the kind with high ceilings and formal dining rooms. My mother-in-law casually accused me of pushing Aaron to ask them for money, her voice carrying across the table to make sure everyone heard. "You've been draining him since you came into this family," she said sharply while passing the potatoes. I felt my stomach drop because Aaron and I had never once asked them for any financial help. We'd been careful to build our life independently. My father-in-law joined in immediately, suggesting I had somehow encouraged Aaron to move money from his savings account for my benefit. Aaron tried to defend me, speaking up about how we managed our finances together, but his parents dismissed him like he was still a child. My sister-in-law smirked from across the table and said loudly, "Everyone knows why she married you, Aaron." The accusation spread around the table as if it was already proven fact, as if my guilt was obvious. I sat there feeling humiliated while relatives whispered to each other and avoided looking at me directly. My mother-in-law claimed they had noticed what she called suspicious transfers from Aaron's account after our marriage began. She announced dramatically that they were genuinely worried their son was being financially manipulated by someone who didn't truly care about him. Then came the shocking statement that made the entire room go silent. She said they were seriously considering cutting Aaron out of his future inheritance because of me, because of the financial damage they believed I was causing. The entire room went completely silent, everyone waiting to see how I would react to such a serious accusation made so publicly. The betrayals built on each other over the following weeks, each one more calculated than the last. First came a deliberate reputation attack that spread through the extended family. My mother-in-law began telling relatives at every opportunity that I was controlling Aaron financially, painting me as manipulative and greedy. At family gatherings, people started treating me with visible suspicion, their warm greetings replaced with cool politeness. One aunt whispered to another within my hearing, "Money changes people, doesn't it?" The implication was clear to everyone listening. Second was the manipulation of my husband that happened behind closed doors. My in-laws privately pressured Aaron to separate our finances completely, insisting we needed individual. What my in-laws didn't know, what they had never bothered to discover because they'd made their judgments so quickly, was that Aaron and I used a shared budgeting system that automatically tracked every financial transfer we made. Every single bill payment was carefully categorized. Every savings contribution was properly documented. I exported detailed monthly reports for our financial planning, something I'd learned to do from my parents who'd always been careful with money. Those reports showed something very different from the accusations my in-laws were making so confidently. Instead of taking money from Aaron like they claimed, I had actually been transferring significant portions of my own nursing earnings into Aaron's savings account to help pay down his student loans faster, quietly and consistently without ever mentioning it or expecting recognition. for nearly 2 full years. I had never told Aaron the exact amounts because I believed marriage meant supporting each other without keeping score or demanding acknowledgement. Partnership meant helping when you could. But now those meticulous records told a truth that was the complete opposite of what my in-laws had accused me of. And that documented truth would completely dismantle the entire story they had created about me being a manipulative gold digger who married their son for money. My childhood friend Maya, who I'd known since elementary school, worked at the same bank where Aaron and I held our joint accounts. After hearing about the accusations during a phone call where I finally broke down crying, she suggested something practical and powerful. She explained that the bank manager could generate an official certified statement showing every single transaction with complete details. Maya helped me schedule a meeting with the manager to request the documentation. Meanwhile, my in-laws grew increasingly confident in their narrative. They told relatives they were protecting Aaron from financial manipulation, positioning themselves as concerned parents saving their son. My mother-in-law even hinted at several gatherings that she might demand a formal prenuptial review, suggesting legal action. Aaron began feeling genuinely torn between defending me and respecting his parents' concerns, the pressure causing tension between us. I reassured him quietly that the truth would settle everything definitively, that we just needed to let the facts speak. The tension built steadily toward what I knew would be a final family confrontation, one that would end the accusations permanently. My in-laws insisted on reviewing the financial situation directly at the bank, wanting to clear things up once and for all in front of official witnesses. We met in a small conference room that smelled like coffee and paper, the kind of sterile space banks use for serious financial discussions. The bank manager, a professional woman in her 50s, sat at the head of the table with printed reports. My mother-in-law began explaining her concerns very confidently, certain she was about to be proven right. She claimed Aaron's finances had changed drastically after our marriage, implying I had drained his accounts. The manager listened politely and then calmly opened the verified transaction report that showed every transfer in detail. Line by line, she began reading the transfers aloud in her professional voice. Each one clearly showed money moving from my personal checking account into Aaron's student loan payments. My father-in-law interrupted, his confident expression faltering into confusion. The manager clarified in clear, simple terms that everyone could understand. These transfers are contributions from Mrs. Bishop into your son's accounts, not withdrawals from them. The room became completely silent, except for the hum of fluorescent lights. The manager continued methodically reviewing the statements, pointing to specific entries. Over 2 full years, thousands of dollars from my nursing salary had been quietly transferred to help reduce Aaron's substantial student debt. My mother-in-law's confident expression faded quickly, replaced by shock and growing embarrassment. My father-in-law asked quietly, his voice much softer than before, "So she wasn't taking money from him?" The manager answered directly and professionally, letting the facts speak without emotion. "No, sir. According to these certified records, Mrs. Bishop has been financially supporting your son significantly." Aaron turned to look at me with genuine shock in his eyes. I had never told him exactly how much I'd been contributing because I hadn't wanted him to feel guilty or indebted. My in-laws sat in stunned silence, their elaborate accusations collapsing instantly under the weight of documented facts. There was nothing left to say. After that meeting at the bank, the accusations stopped completely and immediately. My in-laws avoided discussing money around me for a very long time, the subject becoming taboo at family gatherings. Aaron finally understood the full extent of how much I had quietly sacrificed to support our future together, money I could have used for myself. He apologized sincerely for not questioning his parents' accusations sooner, for allowing their doubts to create tension between us. Our marriage actually grew stronger through the difficult experience, the truth bringing us closer together. I never demanded an apology from his parents because I didn't need one. The truth had already spoken louder than any argument or accusation ever could. And sometimes that is enough. Sometimes letting facts speak is more powerful than demanding acknowledgement. Have you ever been accused of something completely unfair by family or in-laws? Maybe people assumed the worst about your intentions without knowing the actual truth. Share your story in the comments, because someone else going through something similar might really need to hear it. Subscribe if you believe actions matter more than accusations. Click hype to help this story reach others who need it. Standing up for yourself is tough, especially against family pressure. If you've been there, subscribe and become part of our community. Let me know this story helped by clicking hype. And tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories travel.